The Senate's working on the Farm Bill this week. Immigration reform legislation will likely be up next. So stay up to date by following me on Facebook and Twitter and share your thoughts and concerns with me as well. You can also reach me through my website, calling my office, or sending me a letter. Now let's look at a few issues you've contacted me about recently. Kathleen from Douglas and Janice of Casper emailed me that they were furious about the Department of Justice seizing press records and about the blatant violation of freedom of speech. Connie from Cheyenne asked, when does it stop? Joe from Rock Springs said, these more recent illegal acts by Eric Holder's Department of Justice should be the final straw for his removal from office. I have to agree with those comments. I think the Attorney General should resign. The American people have lost confidence in him a long time ago. Fast and Furious was one of those times. I didn't believe that Eric Holder was the right person for the job to begin with. I voted against his confirmation in 2009. If the Senate committee and the House investigation committees aren't enough to find out what really happened, then we do need an independent investigation of the matter. But the independent investigation cannot be done appointed by Eric Holder, and that would be a normal procedure. When you lose confidence in the person, you can't have him appoint his own investigator. And I've lost confidence in him. He's making the Department of Justice the Department of Injustice. Those in high levels of power should not be exempt from the consequences of their action. And what's typically happened in that department is we find out up to a certain level where there's a problem, and then he suspends those people temporarily. In my opinion, some of the ones should have been disbarred. They should have been kicked out. Instead, they get a very short-term suspension, and I can't even find out if they get paid during that suspension. That's wrong. So, raising the debt ceiling behind closed doors is another topic that I'm hearing about. I've received a lot of comments from about a backroom deal when the budget goes to a conference committee. June in Afton said she wanted a substantive debate on raising the country's borrowing limit. Phyllis in Rock Springs said that this backroom deal tarnishes the reputation of the Senate. Don in LaBarge urged me to vote against the backdoor debt ceiling hike. So far, there is no backdoor debt ceiling hike. I've been saying for a long time that it's time that we quit deal making and start legislating. And there is a process for doing that. We need to do it in regular order. Now, both the House and the Senate have passed a budget, and now we need to reconcile the differences. Now, one of the things that's worrying people is that there might be a debt ceiling hike in there or a tax hike in there. But in a conference committee, in order to do that, both sides have to agree. The House and the Senate would have to agree. The House is controlled by the Republicans, the Senate's controlled by the Democrats. If both of those don't agree to something, and I know that the House representatives, the Republican representatives, would not allow a backroom deal on an increase in the debt limit. And I know they wouldn't allow an increase in tax raises to be done through reconciliation. Reconciliation is a mechanism for only having to have 51 votes to pass a bill. But first you have to get the whole thing passed and approved. Incidentally, it does not require the signature of the president, but the conference committee would have to have agreement of both sides, a majority from both sides. I do think that it's time to take the credit cards away. We have to get serious. We have to cut spending. I do have a penny plan. Now, when I started on the penny plan, it looked like it would take about 7 years of having everybody in America affected 1 penny of every federal dollar spent each year for 7 years. Each of us would have to take a 1% cut, be across the board, and that way one group can't feel offended over another group, and they also can't bring in the 5 good examples of what's happened across America and insist that that's a good reason for having their additional money. Everybody would need to take a 1% cut. However, since the sequester and some of the other actions that have been taken, that's down to 3 years and possibly even only 2. How would you like to have a balanced budget in 2 years? That's where America needs to be. Otherwise, the interest rates are going to go up so significantly that we're not going to be able to afford anything except interest on the debt. And that's debt a lot of it's to foreign countries. They still have the confidence in the United States, but as that confidence begins to wane, the interest rates will have to go up dramatically to be able to sell the bonds that finance the debt that we've accumulated. We need to start bringing that debt down. So if you have any friends or family in Wyoming that might like this video, please share it with them. You can also subscribe to my YouTube page and find out more information on what's going on in Washington by visiting my website. That would be www.enzi.senate.gov. There you can also send me an email and sign up for my monthly e-newsletter. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. Thank you for watching and keeping me informed.